my goodness!
Hey!
We're here. We're doing these things. I can't believe it has been exactly 1 week since we last played. Oh wow! It's been several days, but it's been a good several days. It's good to be back. How's everyone doing? How's everyone good?
Wonderful. So good.
So good.
Oh, so good.
Excellent.
So good.
That is fantastic to hear, and hope you out there watching are doing fantastic as well. Hope you're having a good post-holiday New Year or summer or fall or whatever this series is. I'm just gonna add
way to go.
A vague season of life.
I hope you like the leaves that are there or not.
Yeah. You know.
Just come in later and just like fucking like ADR over it, like June.
I hope you're having a nice June.
Winter season.
Just like clearly a different person.
Lip sync completely off. But hope you all are having a great time of year where and enjoying yourselves. It's exciting. I think we're just gonna jump right into it, and we're going to play some Castles and Crusades. Last we left off, our intrepid heroes. That's what I'm going to start using that. Intrepid heroes instead of the party. I like intrepid heroes better. Yeah. Our intrepid heroes were tasked with investigating a commotion north of Havensford after the city kind of fell under a slight attack from some undead. Some members of the community lost and reanimated from sources unknown. Definitely set the town on edge, but the party, not being deterred, were determined to help in some way, and upon speaking with the sheriff, a half-orc named Maeve, they were tasked with going north to investigate this commotion as Maeve was dealing with happenings in the town. So the party set out after having a bit of some serious heart-to-heart chats with friends and family. And upon arriving to the Brighthood estate, found that it was inhabited not by its owner, but by a large troll-like creature. To complicate things a little bit more, the troll had a child with it as well. The party, opting for the non-violent approach, decided to try to make contact with the troll. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a language barrier there, but they had some luck speaking in Elven. There was apparently some words that they all kind of knew that were allowed for slight communications. It was pretty clear, though, by the end of the conversation, if you can call it that, that neither party were super interested in hostilities. So kind of opting to instead leave the estate to the troll, seeing as how it wasn't being currently used by the tenant. Decided to start to head back into town, left a warning on the road to the property to say, you know, to tell would-be passersby or visitors to stay clear, that there was, in fact, a tenant occupying the house. The party decided to return to Havensford proper and inform the sheriff, Maeve, of what it was they encountered. And that is where we are picking up tonight. So, party, you all have just finished kind of placing the sign. It says, I believe you said, like, warning trolls in vicinity or something to that effect.
Do not attack.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we
that
said
kind of
like
thing.
friendly trolls.
Yeah, approach.
Beware.
Beware.
Yeah, it was something funny, like, do not
Beware
enter
friendly trolls.
Speak Elvish a little bit.
It's pretty funny.
It's
But
Elvish.
you all decided to, I believe are heading back to Maeve. It's only about roughly a half-hour's journey that you all are setting out. Is there anything you all would like to discuss or do along the way?
Enwyn is just skipping, practically, after shaking hands with this troll and going to the edge of the woods and returning. She's elated.
Olus is gonna walk up next to Simon. I don't know who else to ask this, but I feel like you're the closest thing to like who I should ask.
Okay.
What? So those guys were like they were like monsters, right?
Well, did they seem like monsters?
Well, I mean, we were talking to him and stuff like that, but you can like talk to monsters. I know that.
I guess my question to you is, what makes a monster?
Huh. You know, my first thought is to go with like teeth, like stuff with like crazy teeth. That's a monster. But no, because orcs got crazy teeth.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not teeth then. I guess, man. Okay, well that kind of answers my question, I guess, maybe. I was gonna ask if I'm a knight, right? Well, I'm trying to be a knight, right? So like, should I knights fight monsters?
I think that's true, yeah.
Was I supposed to like kill those guys?
How do you feel having left them alive?
I feel great. I think that was awesome. You know, like we just talked to him and we didn't have to hurt anybody. I thought that was awesome. But like, I mean, knights don't do things that are like feel good. They make the hard choices, right?
I think an easier choice would have been to see something that looked outwardly monstrous and attack. The hard choice was taking the chance and talking.
Davum kind of sidles up alongside you and says, you know, I think that you did the right thing too, for what it's worth, and selfishly, if you had kind of attacked like we had sort of thought about, I think I would have gotten squished. They were really big.
Yeah.
And turns out peaceful.
Yeah.
I think it's worth thinking about what makes a monster.
Okay. Thank you, Simon. Yeah, you give me something to think about, man.
Well, I'm happy to help.
And Olus, as we continue walking, just sort of like lags behind a little bit as he's leading Lady Spins.
As you do, Davum also kind of like slows down a little bit before kind of coming next to you as well. He says, you know, I think that you did the right thing. It was a complex situation, and you've already proven yourself as a warrior. And don't worry. Next time we get we'll be able to fight. And he draws out his sword. As he pulls it and kind of places it out on his hands, he just stops suddenly, and then just sinks down to his knees as his head lolls back and his eyes kind of roll back up into his head as he just sits there for a moment.
And when shouts and runs to him.
Whoa! I don't know what happened. He just dropped, man. I don't.
Hey, Davum.
He's kind of just like.
I kind of pat his face, like kind of slapping his cheek a little bit.
Simon will rush over and like check for the pulse.
Checking, being as adept as you are, you know where to look. You feel a pulse. It's rapid. His heart rate is spiked, but outside of that, there's no immediate indication as to what has happened.
Is his neck hurt?
I don't know. Simon will like
Back up.
put a hand over his like forehead and whisper a prayer, and we'll cast the cantrip First Aid. Just as like, it's like it just kind of like stabilizes a creature.
Sure. As the kind of wind picks up around you and you release this magic into Davum, you notice the kind of rapid breathing start to slow as Davum kind of like, his eyes slowly roll back forward as he kind of like hunkers over a little bit for just like panting again, like,
We'll help him up. Just breathe. You're okay.
oh,
We've had a rough go of it recently.
that's yeah, yeah, that was rough. I probably just need to drink something.
Would you like to feel calm?
No, I'm okay. I'm all right.
Olus, do you think the lady would mind if Davum rode along for a while?
Not at all. No, I think that's totally fine. Yeah, let me help you out, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Simon will hand up a canteen.
So he takes it and takes a swig as he kind of climbs up on Lady and seems like he's okay, but he's got that 1,000-yard stare right now.
Did he pick up the sword? Is the sword still on the ground?
He still has the sword in his hand. The sword never left his grip.
See.
I want to eye it as we're walking alongside.
Sure. Give me a wisdom check, please.
Okay.
Ooh.
Fuck.
I mean, his sword, like, it looks pristine and as well balanced as ever. You don't have noticed anything off with the sword.
Okay.
I want Lenore to ask if she could hold his sword for a moment and look at it.
It's okay, really. I'll be okay. Don't worry. As he takes it and he sheaths it.
Okay. That was the main thing. I was checking to see if he could.
Sure.
Had the option to release it.
Looks like he released. I mean, he still has it on his person,
Yeah.
but he's no longer touching it per se. So.
Well, excitement can do crazy things.
Yeah, I just. I may just run home real quick when we get back into town, if that's okay. Can you all
Sure.
handle the update without me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll be back. I just yeah, I just got to check on some things. I want to get some stuff from home.
We'll come back for you if we're gonna take off, you know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you leave, like, just let me know where you're going. I'll catch up. Just don't walk too fast. Like, it's a lot harder for me. You guys are so much taller than me.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, unless there's any other business you all wish to speak about or attend to, with the slight scare with Davum seemingly behind you, they'll continue your way, and just a short 20 or so minutes later, you all arrive back on the northern side of the town square. Davum hopping off of the horse, looks to you all, gives you all a curt nod, and turns and seems to rush off home. Doesn't seem too interested in speaking or lingering too long, but makes sure to give you all a wave and a fond farewell. you all now at the city square. Just outside of the sheriff's office, as you approach, you hear there is a pretty noticeable commotion going on inside. Sounds like some shouting, some arguing, but it does sound. You do hear the voice of Maeve, trying, I think, to be somewhat reassuring, but exasperation is quickly filling the voice as you all, unless you have any business you would like to tend to first, make your way inside to the sheriff's office. As Maeve, along with another familiar face, standing at the counter, kind of hunched over a little bit and pointing a finger up at the sheriff. Charm, would you like to explain and describe your character and what they're doing?
Yes. We have my character, Babushka Zoldova Slaughterfish, a woman who is remarkably well-aged in both beauty and dignity. She has scars that kind of streak her face that speak to near misses to cut the string of her life, but still a stern, solid resolution in her eyes, a dangerous acuity that comes with someone who has not let go of any piece of their past in hopes to preserve hope in the future, survival. And she is standing no taller than 5'3", with long white hair held in a beautiful braid over her shoulder, with beautiful brass pieces of baubles and an Eastern European and Scandinavian theme throughout her hair. And she has earrings of turquoise-like stone in beautiful dark bronze or brass jewelry all over, just blue and brass hues. And she has a big fur coat, not like a traditional fancy fur coat, but just a fur kind of cloak, I should say, that half conceals a big shield that looks almost as big as this woman, and a heavy crossbow strapped as well. And if she is stooped because of these things, it makes perfect sense, but there's an aspect of fatigue in her voice, of someone trying to express a point to someone who is perhaps too confident or too diminished in their perception of the threat that this person is trying to bring awareness to.
So you see this elderly but still very powerful woman just going at the sheriff, as Maeve looks to you all almost in a pleading look, and
I have seen the signs. The world is changing, and your town is unprepared for what is to come.
I understand that, Babushka, but please, we are trying our best. In fact, I've already deputized some of the people of the town, and look, my friends are here. The deputies.
No. There are enough butts at the barn. I am tired of butts. Your walls are crumbling. The defenses are nothing more than illusions. The dangers that lurk beyond our borders are growing stronger. And oh, my little sunflowers!
That's her name, Z. I mean, Babushka. I mean, Madam Babushka.
Oh, you may call me anything, my sweet cabbage. I was just telling the dear sheriff that the world is a wild bear that refuses to be tamed in its appetites.
That is one way to put it, I suppose.
Wild bear.
The description may not be too far off from the truth. And Lenore kind of turning to Maeve with that. There were actually friendly trolls occupying the estate. They found the house empty, and we were able to talk with them a little bit, and they're staying there because of the darkness and danger that is in the woods. They are seeking shelter from what is beyond, and they gave us a direction that the darkness is coming from. So whatever's out there is scaring fully grown trolls into homes. They did say if the darkness went away, they would be happy to go back to their original home. But right now they're afraid.
See?
This is disturbing. This explains. Oh, yes. Well, that explains some things, I suppose. We have noticed reports of an influx of wildlife and natural prey predators kind of migrating southwestwards. It makes sense that such threats would definitely affect that of the drone variety, I suppose.
Maybe it's like a situation where, like, elephants are scared of mice. And so maybe it's like a really small thing that's no big deal.
My sweet summer child.
Maybe they're like fun zombies. Maybe they're like zombies that
I'll admit I've never heard of a fun zombie before, but
I felt stupid
doubt
saying it.
That is indeed
Well,
what is going on.
What if it's like how Babushka's saying, you know, like bears, when a bear will wrestle, and like to them it's like play, you know, but like if a bear is like wrestling a person, it's like dangerous.
Oh, Olis, beautiful said. Beautifully said. You missed my point, but beautifully said. Wisdom has been chasing you, and you have always been faster, my boy. Always been faster. But that is all
kind of
right.
elbow Olus in like a good-natured way.
Thanks, Babushka.
I must say, it is important that we realize the threats are not always in the shape of muscles and steel, but there are other things. This darkness that is spoken of. There is something out there for those who know of magic.
Like a black bear.
That is not the real threat. Not even close in terms of bears. That is the never mind. May I at least bring awareness to whatever is happening? Clearly is being verified as a cross-cultural phenomenon in the elements of us needing to bring heart and hope to the people who are no doubt shaken with these developments. These people are not blind, Sheriff. They see and they feel.
Yes, Bushka, I understand, and I do not wish to blind them. I am only implying that we have very limited resources here. We are not, well, all as gifted with the excellence of experience that you have brought forth to Havensford. And I am.
Well, the alternative to experience is death. So I suggest if we seek experience, we should teach what people are willing to learn. Teach one group the way of the spear, teach one group the way of the shield, let one person be the purpose to protect another. That is what I am insisting. We cannot simply be farmers anymore in war. We must be warriors on the farm.
You suggest that we train the citizens of Havensford to fight?
What is the worst that can happen? They understand and appreciate what it takes to protect their land, the hard work you do. I think they would be grateful.
Babushka, make me a charisma check, please.
Woohoo!
I am not good at anything. Let's see.
No one is. It's okay. It's
okay,
a
good.
CNC.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is an example where my character is wiser, faster thinking, and all around just more interesting than I am.
Because this is our first time playing, and for the viewers at home, I know you're going to be very patient and kind and accommodating with us. You can make a case for using other attributes for the check. So if you want to use the, try to lean into the wisdom of age and experience for a check, you may absolutely do that. Or
Intimidate her with your strength.
exactly.
Can I tell you that all my stats are 11, 12s, or 13, with the exception of Dex. So if I could shimmy, I could do a little shimmy. If I could do a card trick with my
Which are
Dex,
your
no,
prime
I'll do.
stats?
So as a human, I get 3, and then my class gives me 1 unique. So it's charisma, Dex, strength, and con.
You should have 3 total.
You should have 3 total.
Oh, 3?
Yes.
Mm.
Because
So one will be
the race.
determined by your class, and then 2 you get to pick because of human.
Oh, so you get 3 total because of being human.
Right.
Got it.
Everyone else gets 2. Humans are the cool kids and get 3.
Dope.
Human gang.
I
And
guess
One must die.
I will unselect that. There we go. So I have Dex, Charisma, and Con.
Nice.
There you go.
Beautiful.
So
you're
I
good at
don't know
talking,
which-
so-
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do roll a d20 here and d20. Ooh, 17 plus
Beautiful.
whatever.
Yes, that's
0.
So a 17 for a prime is fantastic. So you see Maeve's face kind of harden a bit with the reluctance and the dread of knowing what that would entail, but as you kind of plead your case, you can kind of see the calculus going on in her mind, and you see her kind of just slowly realizing that it is very likely and possibly necessary that the people of Havensford be capable of defending themselves. As she slowly nods, says, "Well, if we are to train this town, we must do it proper. We can set up classes. I can, of course, set this all up, make this attainable for hopefully most, perhaps not the elders, but know that if I am going to be the one taking point on this training, you all, as deputies, will be needing to step up in lawful responsibilities for Havensford. Are you willing to do as such? This includes you too, Babushka. I know
She
that
takes-
despite your age, you are still very capable.
She takes her hand in hers and just pats it on the top. And this hand is like it's like doll hands holding on to a normal person's hand in the size comparison of this 7-foot tall orc woman. She says, "Your wisdom and insights are as deep as your voice, my great big cabbage. I will of course help, as there is no greater honor than making sure that one's home is fortified.
Well, I'm
Not just-
not a cabbage, but yes, well, thank you, Babushka. Your wisdom is always it is always wisdom.
And she just, oh, you. And then kind of side eyes and nods at the others. Like you were in on some great master plan.
I don't want to volunteer anyone, but I would prefer, even though it's wise for the town to be prepared for this fight to come, because it has already come and we have already had a casualty. If we could meet it before it gets here and intervene, I think that could be a worthwhile mission. If this group is comfortable taking on that risk.
Absolutely.
Like more-
The best defense is a good offense. So,
Like more zombies.
Whatever the darkness holds.
well, we know that the source of the darkness, whatever this is to the northeast. But outside
Yeah.
of that, I don't know of many leads unless you all know something else.
I think that's it. That's all we've been told. But it was consistent with what the troll said.
Oh, I forgot people could lie.
I don't think he had the words at his disposal to lie.
I don't think there was a benefit to him lying. People usually lie for their own gain.
He had all he needed.
And a child with him.
And he probably could have killed us.
That's true, I suppose, but even still, it's nerve-wracking.
So, what would we do? Would we just head back out to the woods?
Well,
Gather supplies and go northeast.
yeah, it's a little late, isn't it?
I would recommend getting a start tomorrow, yes, but it's around. You all left in the morning. We're gone for a few hours. It's about like 2 or 3 in the afternoon at this point. But being about fall now, it's getting dark. You know, around 7, 8. So we have about 4 hours of daylight left.
We should leave it. We should leave it first light tomorrow.
There is wisdom in this sense. We should rest. Fortify our spirits.
Plus,
Seminole
Sorry.
just put his hand over his side. Just narrating that. Hold on to it.
Plus, we'll want to make sure Davum gets the rest that he needs based on what happened earlier.
Right.
So maybe once he rests up, we will be able to go tomorrow.
Do I know Davam? Sorry.
Yes, you would probably know Dom.
He's a
Pretty much
blacksmith.
Most people in town, you're going to have at least a passing familiarity with less than 200 people here.
Right.
More than likely, you know them. Also, I think
Davum grew up in town too.
Perfect.
Yeah, and Davum's also one of like only a handful of gnomes as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, what's happened to little Davin?
Oh, he was like, we were walking back, and he was like, he was walking, he was like, oh, and he like looked up, and he went like, whoa, you know, and then he was like looking up, and he saw a bunch of stuff, and he, you know,
He passed out.
Oh,
But he seemed to be fine. It was just some sort of episode.
well, I trust your judgment, Master, my Master Priest.
Simon.
Have we met?
Well, we have met. Yeah, Well, yeah, like you said, I'm the new priest. I've been
That's
here
right.
for 3 years.
Wonderful. It's good to see you again. And she
Wow.
says that with like no recognition on her face.
I have a question, Maeve.
Yes.
Sheriff Maeve. Maeve.
Brave is fine.
I have a responsibility here in town to maintain the stables. And if I'm gonna be gone, then could somebody like watch the stables while I'm gone?
If you ask around town, I'm sure someone can find some time to look after the stables. I'm a little busy at the moment to do it myself, but if there's someone you had in mind, I possibly could send a note their way if you can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Maybe one of Davum's siblings would take it over for you.
Yeah. I was thinking about just putting a sign up like we did at the house, but that probably sounds better. That sounds better, right?
Well, it was just a suggestion.
How long should we be gone? We don't know.
The troll mentioned that it was about 4 days away. So at minimum,
For like 4 days.
no, you would
Minimum
have to
8.
double it. Yeah, because we have to come back.
They're back.
I'm probably going to drop Theo off at the Twin Ferns tomorrow if you want to come by and ask one of them to take over the stables.
Well, I feel like I should say something. I feel like I gotta train. I gotta like train somebody or something. I guess not. It's a lot of just like kind of shoveling poop.
That's really all it is, isn't it?
Well, you gotta open the stables to let the horses out, and then you gotta bring them back into the stables
So,
and feed them and shovel the poop.
to recap, you use a door. You call the horses,
Yeah.
and you shovel the poop.
Yeah, that's about well, there's a few more things too, but that's like extra stuff that I also like bathe the horses and stuff like that sometimes. And I'll reshoe horses from time to time, but I feel like that's not really going to be necessary if I'm gone for like 4 days.
That bit does sound more complicated, actually.
That's more like 8 days.
Right, because of the back. Yeah.
There's a girl in town. I don't know if you've ever met Madeline, but she actually helps out with my animals a lot of time, especially like the goats and the things that have to have daily care and that sort of thing. But she grew up on a farm and has had horses. So I was planning on asking her, letting her know that I was going to be gone for a bit and having her check up on everybody. She'd probably be happy to help out with the stables as well.
That's perfect. Yeah.
How old is this Madeline?
She's 17.
Is her family looking to have suitors for her?
Probably. I don't want to speak on her behalf here, but she's a wonderful person and anyone would be lucky to have her. I trust your judgment, but it would need to be a very good man.
Is she as beautiful as you?
Even more beautiful.
That is the right answer. Very good. Is she smart?
Very, and incredibly kind. I've seen her be so compassionate with the animals and really high emotional intelligence.
Wonderful.
And a hard worker.
Well, that is very fantastic. This is good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm going to try to peek at the Babushka's notes.
Something is wrong with this girl. Must find out what. But it's clearly a matchmaker, like a list of those qualities. But that was like the last note written.
No.
But it's like a matchmaker. Like, could she be a good fit for Olus? Is Olus? A little note next to Olus's name. Even a cracked tea spout still pours tea. And there's the priest is handsome. Must play coy with him to better assess his virtues. Different notes.
She does like one of the those, just like side-eyeing, trying to be sneaky, and then sees her friends' names and turns red and goes back to staring straight ahead.
Yeah. You think your name might be on another page.
Speaking of now single women, Millie, who you probably would have...
Oh.
Millie got engaged and then her fiance was murdered and raised from the dead within a few hours.
I just want to be clear. Is this like Emily or is this Lenore?
Yeah, I want to know too.
Emily giving context to Charm, but
I really would love that.
Lenore. In game, Lenore still did that incredible transition of speaking of single women, Millie.
It's best that we don't wake up the bear if we don't have honey.
Yeah. Babushka, just for your reference, I went to check on Millie the morning after her fiance's death for obvious reasons, and she was completely unbothered. And it did not seem to be a state of shock. She clarified that she completely understood that Leon had died. She was able to say his name without any complication. I had asked Maeve if I know there were 5 billion things to do, so I understand if there was no way to check up on her, but I'm planning on checking on her again. And since she seems so collected, even ask her a bit more about what she witnessed.
She's going to click her tongue and say, "Oh, my dear, grief takes many forms."
This is an awfully odd form for grief to take this time.
But perfectly acceptable. As I know I'm not alone, our very own sheriff has had matters of the heart pierced. And I can speak from my own experience, little one, that we do not all wet our faces with the tears of sorrow until we have wet our hands with the blood of revenge.
But she might be haunted by shadow fairies, so...
If that's the case, then absolutely we should go check that out. I did not know about that. You should have led with shadow fairies, honestly.
And
I'm pretty sure they snuck into her ears.
Speaking of grief, to Maeve, Alincia in town was a friend of Siora, one of the bodies. She saw and was extremely distraught. I think it would be good to check in with her if you have a moment.
Yes, I will make the rounds before I turn in for the night. I will check on Alicia.
Okay.
Did she seem dangerous? Should I be more...
No, I think she just was... She doesn't understand, and I think having some sort of official statement might help her.
I will see what I can do. Thank you, Simon.
Sure.
Well,
I guess we'll be going home for the night then.
Yes. The mornings are wiser than the evenings for us all.
Everyone should prepare to spend time on the road in the woods. If there are things you need, I suggest you get them. If you don't know what you need, maybe speak with Babushka or Lenore or myself, and we'll do our best.
Sorry, go on, Dean.
Just would anyone like to accompany me to check on Millie?
I would like to see her with my own eyes. I would like to make sure we cross the bridge until we excuse me. I would like to make sure we cross the river before we appraise the bridge as being stable.
I would,
Agreed.
but I have to go home.
I completely understand.
Give your family my best, and you still have your younger brother nipping around.
Still, yeah.
Here, why don't you take this to give you energy for the walk, and here's some for your brother, so he has energy to leap for joy the sight of his sister. And she hands some baked goods.
Thanks.
And maybe just check in on Davum.
Yeah, of course. I'll be going if there's nothing else.
You can tell Theo he's welcome to visit his newt.
Lenore, could you
I'll let
direct me
him know.
towards? Could you direct me towards the Matilda? Was that her name?
Madeline.
Oh God.
Yeah. And
Maybe
I would
let's write it down.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I have. There it is. Okay.
Do you need help with your letters?
No, I know how to like read and write. I've actually been working on my knightly oath.
I'd love to hear it. I don't know why I'm sounding more like this is Doubtfire, for fuck's sake. I am like deviating
wonderful?
from Babushka.
Transforming into
I'm like, no.
Sorry, Chris. Character bleed is happening. Is real right now. The name was
Madeline.
Madeline. Jeez,
Character bleed. That's amazing.
I'm stuck.
You spend too much time in the Animus.
Character bleed and being
Get some
an
cold
idiot.
water.
Oh God.
Babushka, I'd be more than happy to like tell you about my nightly oaths, but they're not done yet. So I want to make sure they're done before I'm like.
Oh.
I'm shit. I'll we can
I
like
see.
talk. I can't like present them. You know what I mean?
I understand. You're still in between two chairs, and your legs are tired.
I'm actually standing right now.
It's a old expression. It just means that I understand that you're tired and indecisive.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go look for Matilda, and then he starts walking away.
And I
That
think
wasn't her name. Right?
just-
That wasn't her name?
no, it wasn't.
Okay.
That's not.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah,
or am
yeah.
I bleeding into my animus here? Okay.
I have things to do at the temple, so I'll be going as well. But if you need anything, Lenore, Babushka, you know where to find me.
I would like to say, if there's time, I'd like to pray with you. If that's a service you offer.
My doors are always open.
Do churches not close?
Mine doesn't.
That is both noble and sounds very, very exhausting. I'll bring snacks.
Okay. Well, Maeve, everyone, then he'll step out and head towards the temple.
Okay. So as you all depart from Maeve's sheriff's office and go on your way to your various locations and destinations, we're gonna take a quick break.
Ooh.
We'll be right back. It'll be like 2 seconds for you, so we'll see you in 2 seconds, and it'll definitely only be 2 seconds for us.
Should we freeze frame? Actually,
Everybody freeze frame.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Astral
Oh, wow, we
projection's
held that
wild.
for,
Well,
like,
crazy.
seconds.
I lived another
Yeah.
life. I had a family.
We were there for days. Don't listen to them.
It
My
was
children.
real.
My children.
That lamp wasn't a lamp.
Oh, the lamp lore.
Oh,
God.
no.
what?
I explained that to Zach the other day.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Wait, I'll tell.
It's
It's a
a-
long story. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good though.
It
Yeah.
is. It made me question everything.
I
okay.
love lamp.
So, hopping back into it, you all have kind of broken up for the night and going back to your respective abodes. Why don't we start in no particular order, I promise, with Enwin. Enwin, you are
Hey.
heading back home, I believe, to see your family and check on
Yes.
Dal, I believe. Not necessarily in that order, correct?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna check on Davum afterward.
Okay.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
But Is it like, has darkness fallen? Is it still
no,
like...
it's like at this point we're gonna say about 4 in the afternoon. Like it's still perfectly daylight out. You've got plenty of time.
In that case, she's gonna, on shaky legs, walk back to the farm and just pick up work in the farm.
Okay.
As if she was just gone for just getting errands done, something like that.
Easily
And
done.
after dark falls,
Sure.
she'll go to her mom's room.
Okay.
As she usually kind of turns in early. And she's going to climb into bed with her mom. Are you awake?
Oh, of course. I'm older, but I'm not that old. It's still, I can still see a bit of sunlight out.
Thank
The
goodness.
frogs haven't begun their singing. And, well, I don't know where Theo's at. He's probably off in the backyard doing God's know what with God knows what. Oh.
I'm nervous of the substances that we're going to find on him. But I'll give him a bath later. It's okay.
They don't make soap strong enough.
They don't. Did Dad or the boys ever tell you anything before they left, or behave any kind of certain way? Anything unusual?
You see her. There's almost like a bit of a wince as the kind of that just pivot from like thinking about Theo into this, just that kind of like emotional whiplash. You see her kind of almost just like brace from that as she sits there for a beat in silence. You know, your father and your brothers were, well, they were like you, and that they were very headstrong, and they were going to do what they wanted to do, even if the wisest course of action would be to listen to me and stay here and work the farm and keep your nose out of trouble. Something that I've noted Theo has concerningly developed a knack for earlier than the rest of you. But there have always been dangers in this world, and your father cared so much about you all. And I know that everything he did, every course of action, every moment of his life, as soon as you all came into this world, was meant to be to care for you and love you and protect you. And I know that there have always been dangers in the forests to the north. This isn't the first time this town has lost people to it. It probably will claim many more in the years to come. But I believe that the Odells have given their fair share to that forest.
I agree.
I don't know. There's something about that forest. It's the veil calls to people in ways that it's unnatural.
Calls to them.
It may be nothing, but your father, in the weeks before he left, he spoke of dreams of him, these vivid dreams of him walking in the forest, being there and seeing you all there, and seeing shadows moving in the trees, and was always so bothered when he would wake up in these night sweats, and these, it would take him damn near an hour to cool down from, but it got to the point to where he was convinced these were premonitions, or perhaps even the gods themselves speaking to him. He wasn't ever quite sure, but all he knew is that there was something up there, something dangerous that he couldn't allow to persist, not while you all were in this world.
Do you think that's why the others left too? Because they heard voices, had dreams?
They of course had similar experiences, but they were so hell-bent on finding your father. They were convinced they had got it in their mind that your dad had somehow managed to survive up there for years and was stranded or I don't know. But your brothers, they just as foolhardy as your father.
Well, that's the Odell men, but I want you to know, I don't hear anything. And I don't have dreams like that. And I'm never gonna just up and disappear and stay gone. Whatever happens, anything that happens, I'm always gonna come back.
She kind of puts a hand around your neck and brings you in and kisses you on the top of the head. Well, I couldn't bear losing you. Not you, not Theo, no more.
You won't. I promise. Speaking of, I suppose I should go find him.
Yes, go clean him up. I know he's got this thing with salamanders now. What is this about?
Olus will be behind that.
Oh, okay. Well, at least it's better than the snake era. That's, oh gods, I thought I was going to lose my mind and all the hairs on my body turn gray. If he brought one more snake in.
Absolutely not. And if he's looking up to Olus some, then maybe it'll teach him to mind the animals and I won't have to do it.
Yes, well, please go make sure he doesn't get anything more slithering or slimy. If he's going to keep them, they have to stay outside.
I will make sure he knows. Good night, Mom. Sweet dreams.
Good night.
I'll kiss her on the forehead and go find Theo. And I know I've taken up a lot of time. We don't have to do a whole thing for it.
You find him out there. He is exactly where you would expect him, messing around in the mud. He's got in a jar a salamander that he's talking to as he's like building like kind of a mud fort in the back, and is just absolutely caked and disgusting. Bringing him in and cleaning him off for the rest of the night.
Yep. And that night she will sleep in his bed with him kind of curled up.
The scent of soap and the ground permeate your dreams.
And just the very last thing that she does at one point from around like the midnight to 3 a.m. era, she gets up, untangles herself from Theo, and is going to walk to the church, whether or not anybody's in it. And she's going to pray for her return and for everybody's return from this journey.
Which brings us perfectly to Simon. Simon, as you leave the sheriff's office, I believe you said you were heading to the temple, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You make your way there, of course. Just a brief little jaunt over from the sheriff's office, and make your way inside. Something that immediately catches your eye is that the temple is not quiet and still. There is a woman, feminine figure, we'll say, at the front of one of the main altars, hunkered over, kind of prostrating herself down, and even in the dull candlelight, you can see that she appears to be trembling.
Which altar is she at? Is it like of a particular god,
sure,
or
it would be the altar of death, actually.
Surprised to see somebody, but seeing that she is like in the middle of something, Simon would come in and just kind of try to quietly, take off his. He would take off his like his fucking like cloak, I guess is the best way to describe it. Lay that down and just like slowly kind of like take off his armor and stuff like that, and try not to disturb her.
As you're going,
can I catch who it is?
From this angle, she is bent over down, and like face is kind of like on the ground, so can't exactly tell who it is, but as you doff your armor and set it aside, this makes enough of a sound to where it seems to have caught her as she turns around, like suddenly, like someone just screamed at her, as she scrambles up and runs at you.
She runs at me?
She runs at you. What do you do?
Well, hell. I guess I would just put my hands out and say, I didn't mean to disturb you. I was just coming in. She running at me she aggressively.
Runs in, kind of stumbles and then falls down and grabs at your shirt. You see now tears are running down her eyes. Her eyes are fully dilated. She's
just catch her and kind of slowly come down to the ground.
Please,
with her.
You must make them stop. You must make them stop. You must make them stop. Please.
Just take a breath. Just take a breath.
The dreams,
breathe.
They've got to stop. They've got to stop. I can't do it. I haven't slept in 4 days.
Can I tell now who this is? Do I recognize them?
You would recognize this. She is a middle-aged woman. You recognize her as her name is Harriet Freeman, a human of Havensford. She is kind of one of the locals, farmer's wife, as she is in just utter disarray. She is inconsolable, as there's just this wild look in her eye.
Simon would shit. Where's all my stuff at? Beans. Crumbs.
Nuts.
Sorry, gang. My tabs are. I'm missing one.
Goofy.
Yeah, not great. Here we go. Okay. I would cast Remove Fear on her. Just to try and calm her down.
Okay. Interesting. So, as you channel this magic into her, let's see. Give first off.
The windows that are open, the The breeze starts to like fill in the space and the curtains flutter.
I love it. Simon, give me a wisdom check, please.
Okay. Ah, damn.
Okay.
8.
So, you bringing your magic to bear, the wind picking up and the breeze kind of drifting through the temple. This woman Harriet, it's as you release this magic into her, and you can feel it kind of wash over her, much like the breeze is now. There's like this slight convulsion as your effect kind of takes anchor in her, and it's like she twitches several times before suddenly everything just kind of drains out of her, as she just kind of like then just goes almost in a catatonic state and looks at you before just, thank you, as she just falls backward.
I just want to make sure real quick that she isn't dead.
Sure. Again, with your expertise, you check for a pulse. There is a pulse. It is slow, but she does appear to be alive.
Okay. Simon will like struggling just a little bit, like pick her up from the ground and take her back to like the little home side of the church.
Absolutely.
There's like 2 like little single beds, and he'll put her in. I'm so used to being May, I'm saying she'll he'll like lay her down in the one and like bring a blanket up over her and to go put on a kettle.
Sure. Absolutely. As you kind of go out and kind of leave, the faint sounds of snoring can be heard as she appears now to be in a fairly deep slumber.
Yeah. Just put on a kettle, and in the meantime, kind of start really getting out all of his old like adventuring stuff and things like that, and like just making sure everything is ready. At the first hint of like the kettle whistling,
Sure.
we'll get it before it like starts really screaming and like wake her up.
Absolutely. You start to hear that. Harriet does not, even at that sound, Harriet does not seem to even remotely be fazed by it.
We would like make 2 cups of tea and then just gently try to like wake her.
Okay. I'll make a check. Okay. You go and kind of gently shake her, try to speak to her. She does not wake. The snoring kind of stops a little bit. However, she does not seem to be stirring.
Do I know where does she have anybody, like family or anything?
Yes. She is married to the one of the farmers. His name's Arnold Freeman. Harriet and Arnold. That's about the extent of your knowledge. They we'll say they farm squash. An appropriate theme.
Okay.
Appropriate theme for fall and harvest. They're squash farmers.
They're squash farmers. My daddy was a squash farmer, and his daddy before him.
We know squash.
Okay.
They used to have a problem with the cattle farmers, but they squashed that beef.
I don't really want to leave her.
It's up to you.
Simon will he'll pull up a chair and, get a book and just sit there. Then we'll fucking pull an all-nighter if we have to.
Okay.
Do we hear Inwin come in?
I was about to say, depending on how long you're willing to dedicate to your all-nighter, eventually around midnight, you hear the doors of the temple open.
Oh.
We'll close.
Sorry.
We're in like a back space. We'll just close the book and come out. Hello?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. I thought maybe you wouldn't still be awake.
No, dude. There was, please, by all means, the doors are always open. Is there something I can help you with, anyone?
I couldn't tell her. Or Theo. I couldn't do it. She'd kill me.
It's your choice, but they'll know that you're gone.
Yeah. But then I'll come back. Right?
You'll come back, but she won't know that. Don't do it to her again.
You don't understand. How could you? Everyone else is gone. How could I tell her that I'm leaving? No one else really knows what this is like.
If you want her to know that this time will be different, then you need to do something different. You need to be the first one to tell her. I left my family. They didn't know where I was for years.
Years. Why?
Because I wanted to run out into a world of adventure.
Weren't you scared?
No. But I should have been.
When'd you tell him?
When I showed up, nearly crippled. Not nearly. I was. It took me years to walk again. I lied. I lied to my parents for 5 years, Inwin. Don't. Show her that it'll be different.
really annoying when you're right.
That's why they sent me here.
Can I pray with you?
Of course.
Which one's gonna get us home?
Dealer's choice, Edmund. We've all got our favorite.
She'll walk and examine all of the different shrines. And is going to kind of uncertainly stop in front of Wind and kind of turn back to Simon and like very much like embarrassed teenager kind of way. Like, do we kneel? Stand? Do you know what it likes? I didn't have much red, but I brought this, and she pulls out like a red glove from a festival years ago that she's never worn again. I thought it liked red things, so I brought this. I thought it might get some favor.
Sure, by all means. Kneeling is fine. You can stand, you can... I think especially with Wind, doesn't really matter. I like to kneel. That's... Mostly I just like to not be standing. He'll come up next to her and just kind of get down, like, kind of comfortably, like on his knees. It's not like really rigid or anything. He's just kind of like, get down.
You can do anything?
Whatever you like.
Does Wind like more wind?
What do you mean by that?
Maybe just like look that way and don't look at me or listen to me or do anything.
Okay.
And standing behind him, like kind of vaguely in front of the Wind Shrine, she's gonna start dancing for the next like 30 minutes, kind of whooshing around her shirt. The little like blanket that she wore here, kind of like doing windmills. And she's gonna kind of dance through the church for not 3 hours, but
sure,
maybe 20 minutes. Sure. And then we'll place a quick hand on Simon's shoulder, followed by the other, and just squeeze. Thank you. Okay, bye. She's gonna run.
We'll just stand up and and go back.
As you return, Harriet is still fast asleep.
I'll just like lay a hand on her forehead.
She feels a normal temperature so far as you can tell. No, not like sweating. It seems like, at least for the time, she is all right, and she is possibly sleeping for the first time quite well in a number of nights.
I'll just keep sitting up. Probably at some point we'll fall asleep in the chair.
Sure. So, Olus.
Hi, I'm Olus.
Hey, Olus here. I believe you are on your way to take care of some business in the stables, correct?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna meet up with Madeline and ask her if she's willing to take care of the stables for me while I'm gone.
Absolutely. Madeline, frequenting pretty consistently Lenore's properties, you know that she's probably going to be in that vicinity. And as you go towards that end, you do eventually run into her. She's like, hey, did you need something?
Hi, Madeline, was it?
Yeah, you're Olus, right?
Olus, yeah, I'm a friend of Lenore's.
Oh, okay, it's nice to meet you.
So, How are you doing?
I'm good. I got a little scratched by a raccoon. And she holds up a hand, and there's just like this like tiny little claw mark on her hand. She's like, in his defense, I had some candy. And I gave him one piece. Well, I gave him and like everyone one little piece, and then I was gonna have some, but he wanted more. And so he decided to let me know that he wanted more. But I'm doing fine.
Great. I met a troll today, and we talked to him about kind of just like being cool and that there's danger in the woods to the north east.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think.
Yeah.
Did you say you met a troll? Like.
Yeah.
The big things that are in storybooks.
Big green guy. Yeah, he's a big green guy with a baby in the house. The Brighthood house. You know Brighthood house?
Yes. The troll had a baby?
Yeah, it was, well, I don't know if it was a baby. It was a little troll. A smaller troll that lived in the house, I think.
Did you kill them?
No.
Aren't trolls mean and like eat people?
I mean, we might have been told that, you know, but like, I don't know if that's true.
Oh.
This guy talked to us. He seemed peaceful.
Oh,
he was.
I didn't realize. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't realize trolls could talk. I thought they. I mean, well, they could do like kind of grunts and like maybe a few words, but.
I, to be fair, I didn't talk to him, but my friends talked to him, and they said he was cool. So I assume that he's cool.
She kind of. You see her like. Are your friends here now?
Well, Lady Spins is here, but that's about it.
Oh, okay. Did Lady Spins talk to you? Does Lady Spins talk to you?
No.
Okay.
Not in like a. No. No, my friend.
I feel like we're getting sidetracked. Did you need something? I'm so sorry. Like I kind of threw me off with the troll thing. That was like.
Sorry. Oh, I totally had something. Yeah, I totally had something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So that danger in the woods. I'm gonna be one of the people going to take care of it.
Oh.
And that means the stables are going to be left empty. And I was hoping I could pay you to take care of the stables while I'm gone.
Oh. Yeah, sure, I can do that. I mean, your place is just like hop and a skip away from the from Lenore's place. So yeah, I can do that. Like I can stop in there in the mornings and then on the way in the afternoons.
Perfect. Okay. Well, all right. Here's 8 gold.
Oh. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
And Lenore said you've like worked on a farm before, like you know how to take care of horses.
Yeah, I know how to take like horses are like the easiest thing
I've
taken care of.
Like at sunrise they got to go out so that way they can use the bathroom and stuff like that out in the pen, and then you got to make sure you feed them.
Yes.
And then got to make sure you clean. Can you clean them?
Yes, I can clean a horse.
All right. Then yeah, so sometimes you got to clean them, and then sometimes I don't think you'll have to do it because I kind of just reshoot all of them, but you may have to reshoe them sometimes, and then other times you might have to let them back into the stables, and then other times did I say you have to wash them?
You did. I know how to do. I've worked with horses before. It's totally fine. You have nothing to worry about.
All right.
No worries at all.
So yeah, it's just like when they gotta go out, you gotta make sure they go out, and then sometimes they gotta go back in. They gotta go back in afterward, you know. And they gotta get fed sometimes, at the same time every day, and then sometimes you might have
like horse-splaining to me right now when I've told you I've kind of used like I know. I've been riding horses and like tending to them for a while. Like I know what I'm doing.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm just I don't know. I don't want to. I feel like I got like the call to adventure. You know what I mean? Like I'm being pulled on this great big adventure, and I can't deny it. You know what I mean? I can't turn it down. And but I also have like I got to make sure these horses are taken care of and they're fed and they're washed sometimes.
Yeah.
So here's 8 gold. You don't have to do it tonight. I'll take care of this more. I'll take care of tomorrow morning. But then after tomorrow morning, after that, then it's you.
Okay. I can do it, Olus.
Okay. I don't know how long we're gonna be gone.
Well,
he's
8 gold is several weeks worth of payment for taking care of them. So like, don't worry.
Several weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if I'm like gone for a while?
Like, how are you tending to your horses?
What do you mean?
Okay.
Well,
I'm going to go. I will take care of your horses.
Okay.
I know
they're not my horses.
You're only giving me more questions. Okay, I will take care of the horses.
Okay.
And...
People like bring their horses. You know how like a stable works. Like people bring the horses
sure.
to the stable.
You're horse splaining to me again. No, I understand how horses work and how to tend to them, but I've got it. Don't worry.
I'm sorry. It's like there's so few things that I like really know. You know what I mean? And so like,
I'm really passionate about animals too. Like I totally get it.
I just want to make sure. Okay. All right. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I totally know.
All right.
I'll be sure to make sure all the horses are milked, like, and that we tank in them and like all that. It's a joke. I know what I'm doing. It's okay.
Okay. He starts walking away and then he stops and he turns back. Just to be clear, you don't.
Good night, all this.
Good night. Thanks. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you for the payment. I will absolutely be there first thing in the afternoon tomorrow.
Sure. So that's half now and then half when we get back.
Even better.
Great. Awesome. All right. So here's your half, and I give her the 8 coins, and then I go.
Thank you. Okay. Have a good night, Olus.
Good night, Matilda. Madeline. Fuck.
She just stops and then just keeps walking.
I've never seen anyone build a bridge only to burn it so fast.
That was like napalming a bridge.
That's all. He's gonna go back and he's gonna. He is actually going to do. I do have one more thing I would like to do.
Absolutely, go for
it. He is going to add. He's going to add to his oaths, and he is going to just write judgment. No, something like. I have it written down in like longer form, but I feel like also got to refine to that. You know what I mean? So like when he's just jotting it down, it's just like, but like judgment, things aren't always as they seem.
Okay.
And then he rolls it up and puts it away. Takes the horses out, brings them back in, goes to bed.
Beautiful.
Milks them.
Milks them.
Which brings us along to Babushka and Lenore. I believe you two are walking together to go visit Millie, correct?
Yes.
So, as you depart from the sheriff's office and make your way down through the city square, down the street and towards Millie's place, you arrive with no incident. As you approach, are you just like, are you knocking? Are you going in? What do you do?
Yeah, I would probably inform Babushka as much as possible along the way about how Millie seemed the night of the incident, the emotions around the engagement, the distraught at the attack, and then the calmness, complete 180 the following morning, and that, we'd had a pleasant interaction and she told me to come back anytime, that sort of thing. So it would be fairly casual to just knock on the front door and say hello.
My
That's
my
the plan.
my dear, I have been around many mourning women. Early on in the old days, it was only men who went to war. We women were left behind to tend to our homes, our hopes. And it was a practiced piece of our culture and community in those years to gather around the woman who received the news of that week, the bad news of that week. I've seen more ways to mourn than I ever thought possible. If you are worried about this person being sincere, let me know now before we go.
I'm worried that there is something happening here in this town, in these woods. There have been lots of things we're not really able to explain, including people are finding coins, and Olus has claimed that he's had coins double. Davin saw what he thought was like a tiny shadow person. I'm just anything right now that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm trying to give it a little bit extra insight. And also, Millie is the one who saw what happened. While she was distraught, it wasn't really appropriate to ask her about it, but if she seems calm, if she seems okay, I would like to know what she and Leon were in the woods, and then she came running out. And Leon was dead. So I want to check on her just as a young woman with heartbreak, but also as a witness and any other concerns. But I very much value the insight you have as someone who has seen all types of grief, because it does show in many ways, but I had not quite seen the turnaround, I guess. The way that that night she had such a different responses in such a short period of time. It struck me as odd.
Well, I understand. This does seem to lend itself to my personal belief that dark times harbor few coincidences.
Yeah.
And I should have you know that I, of course, will join your open-hearted crusade to care for a friend, or perhaps a young woman dealing with the greatest pain one might know. And if for any reason it is much more severe and perhaps dangerous, I am well versed in many advanced interrogation techniques.
I will appreciate that experience. I have a little less experience with interrogating people.
That is fine.
Grace, you are dying.
Are you good at ropes?
Yeah, I'm great at ropes. I have to set traps and various things all the time with all the little critters across my land.
You're good at ropes. And you care for animals? Do you have man?
Yes. I do not have man. I am quite content with just my little furry companions. They are honest with their intentions.
Oh, I've known many such women who are content with furry companions. We have all read that book. It ends very sad.
I'm okay being a spinster.
I've only ever heard women who aren't spinsters say that.
I guess that's fair. I still have the naivety of time on my side.
Well, let us see where this journey takes us together. And
Yes.
just trust her, your dear babushka, will not steer you wrong and will follow your lead.
Okay. I think with that, we'll knock on the door to Millie's home.
And babushka kicks the door. No. I'm kidding. Just love that idea. I'm just going, oh, okay, we're on the same page. And freeze, motherfuckers.
So you knock on the door, and there's just a couple of beats before it swings wide open, and Millie stands there greeting. She goes, "Oh, hey, Lenore, and Babushka, oh, you're here too. Hey, what? Come on in.
Yeah. Thank you for welcoming us into your home. Just wanted to check on you with your very eventful last day or so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're getting by. I mean, taking it a step at a time, like day by day, hour by hour. But we're doing okay.
Yeah. Do you feel comfortable talking about what happened?
I mean, I don't know if there's much else to talk about. Like, we all saw and know what happened. There's not really any need, I feel like, to kind of rehash it.
Rivia, my dear cabbage. It has been too long since we've had a moment, and it was brought to my attention that one of my favorite matches I've ever made. Can I say that I've match made these two?
Sure, absolutely. Why not?
Have fallen out of the beautiful entwining of life's tapestry. I wanted to hear from you about what happened. If not, to make sure matters of the mind and recollection are clear, so that we may put this behind us, but to at least check as a sisterhood on your heart.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm okay. I don't really know. I mean, like, I feel like you all know everything that's happened. I don't.
I could hear it again, one more time, just for old Babushka's terrible memory.
Yeah. We know what happened once you got back to town, but we don't know exactly, where were you in the woods? Like, what exactly,
Well,
I don't know, as there's been time, we're actually going to be investigating this further. So if there's anything that could help us as we're looking for answers.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find who did that to Leon, that would be great. I guess you may have been in I'm not sure if you were in the square, but Leon proposed the day of the Harvest Festival. And then we were so happy and so elated. We decided we wanted some time together, alone, and so we decided to take a walk up to the forest line. Leon said that he had saw some beautiful flowers that had sprouted, just that were only going to be in bloom a few more days or maybe a week or two until the cool weather killed them off. So we were going to go up there, and he was going to pick me some and make me this whole little necklace thing. It was going to be really cute. And so we went up there, and then she blushes, fooled around, and we kind of fell asleep for a bit, and then I woke up, and we started to make our way back to town. And
approximately how long was your sleep?
Probably we left in the afternoon, so probably about 2 hours we fell asleep.
And how long was your quality time?
Well, I mean, I don't see why that needs to be discussed.
Nothing
It
is
was good, if that's what you're
I wasn't asking about the quality. I want to know a timeline, my dear. Goodness, I know it was good. I set you up. Do you think Babushka would let you down with something that goes up? Come on.
she is like rapidly getting red in the face. And she's like, okay, well, I'm sorry, what were we talking about? Yeah, oh, okay, yes, so we had time together, and then we fell asleep for a couple of hours, and then we're starting to come back into town, and that's when we were attacked.
Okay. Kind of want to try something.
Okay.
Millie, would you mind if I actually there's an old tradition where I'm from, and it would be kind of like a blessing, and it would just be something that's like really calming. It should be like you've been through so much. I would love if you would let me kind of bless you with this.
A parting blessing is great tradition where I am from as well.
Go ahead and make a charisma check, Lenore, as you see her kind of a little uneasy.
I don't know if advantage exists, or the help
Not.
action.
It is not.
Okay. Ooh.
But there's a good roll. You see her shift a little bit and kind of ponder it for a beat before. Okay, sure.
With that, you would see Lenore kind of like trace a symbol and say Animus Cedo, and it is a mind calm, which clears one's mind of all turbulent thoughts and allowing the person to calm all emotions, and it empties the mind, creating a shield against any forms of mental attack or mental fatigue. So it'd be a +1 per level against any of those things.
Okay.
This is always good when the DM is doing this like worrying buffer situation.
So. Okay. So. You trace the rune in. Just out of curiosity, where are you tracing this rune at?
Oh, is it fine if I have like a pen or something on me and I even just like draw it on like the palm of her hand?
Sure, absolutely. As she extends the palm out, kind of smiling a little nervously, and you begin to trace the rune. Bringing it to completion, there is this flash of energy as this like warmth kind of momentarily radiates out of the room. Both of you see Millie's demeanor shift from what was kind of like this nervous apprehension, but still like being polite and jovial. All of that immediately drains away as she then just like goes into what looks like a sort of sense of almost like shell shock of just like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Take it back! Don't do that! Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
I slap her in the face. Get yourself together, woman.
I can't do this.
Explain.
I can't do this. I can't do this. She is going to stand up. And she's going to start to walk over to her kitchen. Do you all do anything?
Push her back down in the chair. Yeah.
She immediately tries to start fighting you. Let me go, please stop. If you can take it back, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Why did you
understand.
do this to me, Lenore?
I understand more than you know. Please, you will heal. You will get better.
She
You are
is
still whole. You are not broken.
Screaming and sobbing and crying like she is.
Okay.
It's as if perhaps days of emotion that are been suppressed are now all suddenly violently coming through.
I hold her against my chest, her head, and I
Yeah.
just go, "It's okay. It's okay, sweet little one. I understand you're going to get through. You got to make it one day at a time. One day at a time with purpose. Think of a purpose."
Lenore would also be just like holding, comforting, kind of like stroking her hair, like let it out, just like let it all
Yes,
out.
yes. Listen to Lenore. Let it out.
She is just screaming at this point. Not even so much crying, she is just yelling. That kind of like feral pain. She is struggling against you both. I would like you two to please give me strength checks, as she is actively trying to get away from you now.
Okay. Just so you know, my
Oh.
thing lasts for 10 minutes per level.
Okay, so 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know what nat 20s are in this game, but
Nat 20s are still nat 20s, so
Yeah.
that is a critical success.
Yeah.
firmly with the practiced experience of a steel-handed woman who's had to hold down a much more vengeful, bigger women in her company in the past, she is going to try and just stiff arm her into a back into the chair, more closely to Lenore's embrace at this point now than anything, because Lenore is now the soft and I have to be the hard.
Very true. Lenore, she is continuing to scream. She is struggling, but Babushka's firm grip and basically keeping her pinned in the chair, she is not going anywhere, not anytime soon.
Grandma strength.
Yeah. Lenore would be just kind of like still just trying to comfort, provide that softness, just letting her let it out. But then, while she is in this state, is there anything that you haven't been able to share with us so far?
Make me a charisma check. I'm going to tell you this is going to be a hard one. Okay. She, as you try to plead with her and ask for her, she is beyond speech at this point in time. She is not. You're pretty sure she's not even really hearing you. Like she can hear you, but it's not sinking in. The visceral emotion and reaction she's having to this rune it's pretty clear, like she's not in a state right now to speak or to answer questions, at least like that.
While kind of continuing to try to like comfort how I can, Lenore turning to Babushka, do you think this means that something was magically influencing her?
That's a good question for the DM. What
Sure.
have I seen in my times?
I mean, you're pretty aged and you've had a life full of experiences. I'll let you give me an argument for a check to make to try to recall or count on any knowledge or experience or information. What kind of check would you like to try to make?
I would like to pull on the deep-seated gut instinct and intuition of an old woman who feels it in her truly in her gut, in her constitution, if you might say.
Sure.
In the realm of when the mind, the memory fail in terms of having only heard whispers of something, what does my intuition think that has drawn this woman to this place in this moment that caused such a dramatic shift that I suspected but never have seen quite like this?
Sure, make me a Constitution check.
It's a +1 instead of a +0. So
Love it.
love that for us here. So oh, this is a good shit right now. That's a 20,
good one.
dirty 20.
Yes. Okay. So, in your experiences, in your lifetime, you have seen, especially being around and consoling the widows of those that have lost, there is absolutely a time, especially early on in the grieving process, where these people who have lost someone dear to them will do anything to get rid of the pain. Whether it's self-medicating through drugs, alcohol, whether it's any number of different things, like throwing themselves into work, throwing themselves into any sort of vice. You know that this is kind of like it's kind of like a marker on the process of the grieving.
Right. Yeah.
This is unlike any process of grieving you have ever seen. Combined with Lenore's rune magic and that sudden 180, what is happening to Millie is absolutely, in your heart of hearts, you know, is not a mundane, normal reaction. There is something greater at work here, and just judging from the reaction to Lenore's magic, it is reasonable to assume that magic was at play in the first place. Something about her grief has been suppressed, and what Lenore just did suppressed the suppression.
Lenore, my dear, it seems your magic counteracted some emotional stunting interference that had her ignoring this 3 stages of grief for one. I'm going to look at Millie, get close, with my hand still on her shoulder, firm but soft, and that almost in a way that a martial artist would be ready to deal with anything, and just say, Millie, I am not going to ask you any complicated questions. Just look into my eyes and tell me what you did to get rid of your immense pain.
I need to make a check for her first.
Oh.
Okay. This is actually a... You wanted her to fail that.
Okay, good. I'm like, oh no.
She takes a bit of time to compose herself. I say compose, but she's barely holding it together.
Right.
Tears just welling down her eyes. She's trembling. She's rocking slightly back and forth. But as you kind of firm up and face her and ask her this, she looks at you and, in this kind of ragged breath, I made a deal. I made a deal.
With who or what, child?
I don't know. She was this woman. She was beautiful. She came to me in my dreams, and she said that she could take my pain and make me happy. And all I had to do was not say anything. All I had to do was just live my life and be happy. But Lenore took that from me.
No, Lenore did not take anything. She gave you something. The closest thing you have to the memory of that sweet man. is what you feel for him. Mourning, sorrow.
I don't want to feel this. I don't want to feel this. I don't want this.
That is the way of the world, sweet child. There is love, and there is its cost, and then there is what is beyond. I'm going to pat her face gently and stand up, look to Lenore, and say, she will need time and care. Would you be willing to stay with her in this difficult time to make sure she,
Yeah, of course. And also, I'm not sure what's going to happen after the 20 minutes. My spell's duration is for 20 minutes. I don't know if it's permanently erased this deal or just temporarily interrupted it.
I think we will find out. But do you think you are safe with her in the meantime?
I think so.
Do you have magics that can keep you both safe should a strange visitor try to interfere?
If it's in her dreams where I don't know what's happening, but if anything physically were to enter the space, yes.
You're a powerful young woman. Our strength is exponential when we are together. I must seek out the priest. I must seek out his spiritual expertise from this very obvious spiritual, emotional vampiric threat.
Yeah, I was looking at something, but it wouldn't be super helpful at this moment. Yeah. Sorry. We'll be fine for the time that you need to be with the priest.
Well done, Lenore. Your magic, beautifully felt. It gave us both an understanding of someone's pain and also a direction of which to vanquish evil. I have sworn myself to this task, and I thank you for giving me a moon on the otherwise impenetrable night.
I appreciate you coming with me and your insight. I could not have done this alone and kept her calm through it, and your reassurances and wisdom were greatly appreciated through all this.
Her rage is a quiet one compared to the resonance that I have felt longer than she's been alive. It was there, always there. I'm glad you revealed it. I'm glad we were able to soothe it. And I'm glad you are here to be vigilant over a poor little lost lamb. And she looks...
We'll take care of her.
She looks to you and smiles and looks back down to her, crouching on a good knee and a bad knee, and says, you're going to be okay with Lenore. And I know you may not think so, but there is going to be a purpose for you. It may not be the sunshine and rainbows after the rainstorm, but perhaps it will be enough to grate whatever you need to bloom or wash something away. And then I grab my cloak a little tighter around myself, look to Lenore with a nod, and make kind of the sign of my touching my scar and kind of doing what, in my experience, a lot of older women and matriarchal structures have always done, and that's cast some sort of familial cultural village blessing over those they are parting. Just a gesture that has almost no magic to it outside of the memory of what magic first started. Simple thing of love to strangers and friends alike.
Is that you give a gentle touch, nod, pulling the cloak, and make your way out of Millie's house. As Lenore, you sit there. Millie is basically curled up, now kind of fetal position, just lightly sobbing, crying, as you stay there with her to try to comfort her. I believe that is where we are going to call it for tonight.
Oh, beautiful storytelling,
man.
DM.
For a whole week.
Oh, for a whole week. Man, that...
Oh,
I gotta tell you, gang, y'all... The
Hey,
fun thing about being new to this game, I don't know what the players have. And so when they pull shit out like that, wow.
That was
First
cool.
it was the turning the undead, and then we've got the, like, mental effect suppression rune. Like, God.
The magics are magicking.
Magics are magicking.
Magicking. Y'all are got... Y'all spicy. Y'all spicy.
And Olus has a horse.
And Ola's got a horse.
I got a horse.
Hey,
Ola's also, I
yo.
think, has the only kill of the group, right?
Was it
Or
Davin?
was Davin? Did Davin?
On screen?
Lenore killed Lenore
Oh,
killed
yeah, that's
one.
right.
Say-
Y'all did.
I think I got some.
I think
Crossbow shots.
Davum has 2.
I think Lenore's got one, Davim has one, and Olus has one.
Well, but there was a fourth
There was a
zombie.
fourth
Somebody else had.
someone.
Who? I think.
Lenore
Who
may
killed the
have
first
two.
one? Lenore might have been the one to kill the first guy,
Yeah.
Leon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you also killed the one that was left
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the street.
Yeah.
Lenore's fucking.
You guys got a
Yeah.
body count here.
Lenore's got some tricks up her sleeve. My God.
I'm just a
Wow.
priest.
I don't even
A
want to
priest
hear it.
that's
And
stupid.
Wynn has not hit anything. I don't want to hear it. I'm just a priest. I'm just gonna turn all these undead and just
Yeah.
change the tide of this battle real quick.
I didn't have a weapon. I was just
That
in
was
my.
It was the coolest moment, though. The way that you talked about just like that, like avatar moment of it with the wind and
Pulse of the
everything.
wind,
That
yeah.
was
Ooh,
incredible.
I'm so sad I
Cool.
missed that. That's gorgeous.
I think I natural 20 that.
I think you did.
Ooh, That's a
Yeah.
moment.
Is that
That's
something
a
that I had
full-
to? I think I had to make a roll on a nat 20 to, and it was.
Good thing we can go back and watch the VOD.
Look at
Hey
that.
yo,
Go back.
I'm so excited to do that. I'm so excited to watch these back.
Yeah,
it'll be
same.
fun. It'll be fun. But
Get
It'll be
highlight
fun.
reel clips.
Oh yeah.
This
so good.
week to watch this week, this episode this week.
This week,
Yeah.
this week. That is the
And the
week
next-
of our Lord. The of the
Redacted.
month.
The month of Fertility.
I can't believe it's already.
February.
February.
Thank you all so much for watching. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you to Trollord Games for letting us do this, and thank you for
Hi.
making a fantastic flippin'
Yeah.
game. It's so much fun. We're having
This
a
is fun.
blast.
My first time. That was my first ever
Yeah.
session
Yeah.
of this.
I kind of, a lot of ours,
Hey.
like this is our like second game like ever, I think. So like this is.
Yeah.
this
See
has
how
been
easy
awesome.
it is.
It's
To
That
pick
was
it up.
effortless. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's really, really easy to play, really easy to get into, and I'm very excited to see where this goes because you all have got some stuff. You got some things.
You got things to do.
I'm actually like legit excited about feeling combat in every system I can because
Yeah.
it's my hope to create my own system one day and just
Let's
take
go.
a little bit of everything I like out there.
Ooh,
So.
yes, all of the
Yeah.
systems. Thank you all so
Yes.
much for watching. We're gonna wrap it up here. We will be back next week for the first month of, and we cannot wait to dive back into this. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, screen that, all that stuff. You know.
Poop all over it and
We'll
throw
see
it
you.
at
What?
government building. What's that?
That's all we have.
Good
that's all,
night, everybody.